Hey guys, thank you for showing up. I can't believe it. I'm doing it on, well, not really on my own because I still drug in James, my partner on Fish Room Fever. Let me see if I can pop him in. Oh, bam. There. There we go.
Hey, everybody.
James and I have been a team since the beginning, and I have really appreciated him so much. We got together when we both started kind of doing this, and our goal is to get him up, and he's a fantastic. Oh, everybody knows James is fantastic, and it's been my privilege to be able to be his co-host for a long time, and now he's going to try to help me get up there and try to be monetized, and we're not splitting. I'm going to end up taking the nocturnal feed or the nocturnal feeding. Of course, I can't talk on my first stream. And he's going to still be doing his Saturdays, and he's also talking about doing another awesome day, but I'm not going to bring that up and let him announce that himself. And I've got a lot to say in about an hour. In an hour. I first need to really also thank Rack, because without Rack, I wouldn't have got such an opportunity to come in at 10 o'clock during the NFL draft. My team, the Chiefs, are probably drafting about right now. I really appreciate it, Rack, a lot. But no, I'm here because this is more important, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you, Lisa and John, for promoting me on your stream. That was so nice. Every time you did it, and every time Candy brought it up, it made me go a little inside. But yeah, I'm doing it. And also, I want to thank Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction and Nathan from Sand Creek Aquatics, because they allow me to do a lot of co-hosting with those guys. So I probably have more time on camera than anybody in the history of FishTube that's never done a live stream himself. So I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me before I get into my spiel. A lot of people have different reasons why they do YouTube or, do the fish fam and stuff. And I've always kind of considered myself a normal guy. I've never owned a store. I've been loving fish for about 40 years, since I was a little kid. My dad got me into it when he bought me a little black molly and a little gold molly when I was 4 years old in a fish bowl. And he loved it so much, he started doing guppies and cories and selling them to pet stores for a long time in my childhood. And that made me grow to just love fish even more. He got out of it when we adopted my brother, and my brother was a very sickly kid. And so we spent lots of time at the hospital. And so he gave it up, but I always had a passion for it, and I just loved it so much. So I've just always had fish tanks. It just, but I'll never preach that I'm a professional. I'm an avid fish keeper, Aquarius. I love it. I try to surround myself and friends like James and Bob and all you guys that know so much about fish. You guys help me a lot. I look at all these names, and I could just go through every single one of you guys. I love you all. Not gonna get sappy. But I chose my name, Chattanooga Ed, because I moved to Chattanooga and I knew nobody. So I was like, how can I get my name out to meet fish people? And so that's why I went with Chattanooga Ed, my name. And it worked. So I was incredibly successful, I think, already with YouTube, because I've met people like James and Rack and Bob. These guys are my friends. Sean Peck is my friend. He's really close. Rose, right down the street. Ginger Graves is down the highway the other way. And Tiffany White, I forgot to meet her, and she's super sweet. The fish fam is awesome. And that's the main blessing and reason why I do it, because I just have fun. I'm not looking to start a store or James, or not James, but John was talking about reasons why people want to do this. Is to educate And I don't know if I'm going to truly educate, but maybe show where I fail and see if I can help people not fail and just be able to talk and help, and you guys can help me. And that's something also I got no problem with doing is I ask you guys, is you guys know an awful lot too. So,
if I may, we've got a bunch of new faces in here. For those that don't know you, and of course we've got a lot of the regulars. Can you tell them a little bit about your fish tanks, what you've got going on there? Because you've got a lot going on.
Man, James, you're a really good co-host.
Well, I don't know about that. Thank you.
I was worried about him, but no. I told you my dad did guppies. I didn't do guppies for 30 years because my dad did them. So I did everything else except for saltwater. And now I'm like addicted to guppies again. Since I moved to Tennessee, I don't know why, but I just really got back into the guppy game and not game, but I love guppies. And I hurt my back and had to retire way earlier than I ever planned on. And so I had to do something. And so my goals are to try to breed and raise up some awesome guppies to compete in the IHL, not IHL, that's hockey, IFGA, and try to maybe win a ribbon or, just have fun meeting people with that. That's the International Fancy Guppy Association. And we've got one down here called the Deep South Division. They have a competition in Murfreesboro, which is in Nashville. And so I was planning on doing it this year, but it's already been canceled. So that'll be next year, but that just gives me an extra year to bulk up. And now I got this guy. He's going to compete against me. He's getting some awesome guppies, which is pretty cool.
I just want a ribbon.
Yeah. Well, and I did get one ribbon already this year at the Big Fish deal, which was huge and fun for me. It's my first ribbon I ever got, but I'm not going to get into that because you guys probably have heard about that. That was a escaping thing. But I don't know. My goals for FishTube is to probably just meet people, have fun, be able to talk, and get to go to conventions and know people and get to meet people. That's a big thing. I'd love to someday be sponsored and get free fish food. That would be awesome. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm probably just talking like crazy.
I'm loving it because normally this is flipped and I'm doing all the talking. So this is great.
Yeah. And thank you, all my mods. I don't know if you guys became my mods yet or not. I have had technical difficulties for a long time trying to get on to YouTube. And so whenever I am live streaming, I have to jump to my other account. So I have two accounts, but my normal Chattanooga Ed account won't go live. So I always have to go to the Chattanooga Ed. And then the problem is then I can't make mods. So I was hopefully James was trying to figure out how to make the mods, but I'm going to shout out my mods if you guys aren't blue, you will be eventually. But I've got the Zen Ginger, and I'm reading down. Monica Lynn is going to be one or is one. Danikin is one. Griff from Griffin's Fish Room, and Derek Meg Guy 44. Did I say that right? I hope so. I
didn't get Derek on there. I can add that real quick while you're talking.
That's awesome. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know what else to say about that. I just appreciate you guys, and thank you a lot for doing that for me. Trying to think. Well, what I plan to do with my stream is I've been building a fish room. I want to do kind of just random streams occasionally from my fish room. I like to paint and make models and things. So I don't know if anybody knows who Sharpie's Models and Aquatics is, but he kind of does that. I'm going to be doing that type of thing. You guys can watch if you want. If you don't, you don't have to. Just going to do random deals. And then I'm going to vlog a lot of stuff and show you what I'm doing in the fish room. And I'm going to kind of go through one tonight. Oh my gosh, I only have 20. Or no, what time did we start? 10:30?
Yeah, you've got 50 minutes.
Oh, thank God. Because I had like, I thought I only have 20 minutes. I was going to go over, I bought Dan's fish, his last dragon puffer yesterday. And I always, normally, whenever I do a fish or a fish tank, I plan it out forever. I mean, my fish room's been taking me almost a year because I like to plan things out. And so this was a super impulse thing for me to do. And I'm going to kind of go over the list and show you guys a lot of the stuff that I'm going to do. And then I'll probably vlog it, videotape me doing it tomorrow but between tomorrow and Sunday. My fish room is hopefully going to be completely done on Saturday. I'll have everything but my central air line put in. And we were actually planning to do my first live stream next Thursday night because our normal time will now be at 11:30 to 1:30. Mm-hmm. Okay. Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction was saying that yesterday that he was kind of getting tired of it. So I said, man, if you get rid of the spot, we would love to have it. James has been so overworked lately that it would be wonderful for him to get a little bit extra sleep too. So yeah, we appreciate that, Chris. But Chris, if you ever want to jump on and hang out, man, you're one of my my people I hang out with all the time. You're one of my Johnny Carson guys. So, yep.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but I usually leave at 2:30, finish the live stream, and go straight into work from there. So it'll be nice if with ending at 1:30, I'll be able to at least get a little bit of rest.
Yeah, for sure. And if he's not getting enough rest, maybe we'll even just do an hour or whatever. We'll figure it out.
You're already trying to get rid of me.
No, not. But also, we hope that this whole COVID thing relaxes, or I shouldn't have said anything like that word. But I'm not monetized. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But James has been working a ton. I mean, I know that people have noticed he hasn't been in a lot of streams like he normally is and everything, just because his job is deemed an essential, and he's the top dog at his shop, so he has to be there all the time.
Yay.
And yeah, I hate it because I like having a buddy to talk to sometimes. He's busy so much. Yeah, Chris, anytime you want to hang out with us, you can still hang out with us too, because I love to hang out. And that goes for anybody. I mean, just give me a shout out. I still want to interview GRB. I don't know if GRB's in our chat, but I talk, you know what? Honestly, I don't know if GRB is a boy or a girl. I know that they're from Australia, and I said, I'd love you to come on and let us interview. And I'm going to say he for now, because I don't want to say it. That seems mean. But we need to get him sometime on here. And we've got a bunch of people to interview. I mean, we might be doing it also, though, on Mondays. On Saturday nights. But, there's GRB right now. Oh, he is a boy. Okay, cool. Sorry, man. But, yeah, I don't know what else I'm trying to say. I want to thank everybody, but I'm afraid if I do, I'll end up talking the whole time to you. So let's get straight into, why don't you, have you seen anybody say anything special or?
I mean, every comment is special to me, but no. It's just a lot of awesome people in here, a lot of chit chat back and forth. I think Candy's feeling naked without a wrench, but it gives her a break from having to mod a stream. Angela Cross, River Wife, is in here supporting you, Ed.
Yeah, I noticed Lady Cross. Wow. And she is such a sweet person. I've got to meet her in real life too. She's awesome. Super cool. Yeah, but she doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
Right. Huge thank you to River Life. I know that this is your week, but it stuck me in front of the camera again in his time slot, given that he gave it to me and you co-hosted me last week. So huge thank you to River Life. If you haven't checked him out, please do so. We'll make sure and get that link thrown up in the chat here.
Yeah, I don't know if Rack is in here, but Angela is. There is a game that Sean Peck and I really want to play with Rack so bad, and it's so bizarre because it's actually the base under my computer because it's a really good square. So I'm going to do this. Yeah, it's my live stream. I can. Ugh. You guys, this is the greatest game that you can buy for your family. It's called Wingspan. It will teach you a ton about birds. It has basically every North American bird on here. And you collect birds. You try to have them lay eggs. You try to collect more. The kids love it. And even my dad loves it. And it's hard to get my dad to enjoy a game. So he likes to read the facts about the birds. And he got I think a vulture or something that he was, every time somebody had an eagle that killed a bird, he got points because he was a vulture. And ever since then, he loved the game. So, Angela, we got to play Wingspan sometime with John Peck and your husband because we know your husband would love it. Okay. So, there's Rack right there.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, it's only birds. It's great. I'm not going to open it. And maybe I can get maybe Rack, you could go to Sean's and I could go to Sean's and we could play a game live. And he could do a demo on his game channel. Just throwing that out. Cool. I don't know. I'm always trying to think of different things for people to do because it's fun. But let's do the breakdown on this puffer fish because I bought it spur of the moment. I have a 40-gallon breeder. So I'm going to put him in there. I don't hardly know anything about it. Luckily, Bob Kaler bought one. And so I got to watch him take care of his. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do it. And I know that I've got Bob right on the other side of the phone that I can call for help. And also Dan from Dan's Fish, he'll also help you out a ton too. I mean, he answered a lot of questions. I said, Dan, do you think you'll do okay in a 40-gallon? He said, yeah, at least for now. And if he gets to 8 inches, maybe we'll put him in a bigger tank. But so I'm going to put him in a 40-gallon, and I'm going to go step by step. And if you guys see something that you think I should throw in, I'm probably going to miss something just because I couldn't bring everything to the table, but I'm going to show a lot of stuff. And let's go from there. So the first thing I'm going to do with this tank is I like using plastic dip. This stuff, you can spray it on the back of your tank, and it'll be black. And then later, you can just peel it off later. So that's my first thing. It's a backdrop. And I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm just saying this is what I'm going to do. And if anybody else has a better idea, you guys jump on it. I'm saying I got this, Ed. Well, let's hope. I'm already getting pretty dry mouth.
And we've got a question. Deb Hall wants to know, what's your puffer's name?
Well, okay, normally I have a thing about naming fish because every time I've jinxed them and they die right away. But I named my Baisher Baishi, and I absolutely love the guy. So I've already named this guy, and I don't even have him yet. But I'm going to name him Jabba from Jabba the Hutt. So, because he kind of looks like Jabba the Hutt. He's just kind of a fat, big-headed little guy with cute wings and big eyes. Go check him out on Bob Kaler's channel. He's got a couple of great videos right now on his. And he named his something super cute. I can't think of it right now. It wasn't Sherman, but it was something cute. But okay, so plastic dip tomorrow. I'm going to also put on a lid. I use the multi-wall polycarbonate. Well, I call it basically the plastic, carbonated plastic. It's the stuff that you use for
the polycarbonate.
Yeah, the polycarbonate
for the lids
or greenhouses.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I brought a giant piece in. Here in Tennessee, they don't sell the 4-foot. They don't sell the 4-foot, but it is 8 foot long. So you can see it goes way up. And I normally plan on just cutting lots of 20s with that, and I put it on my table saw, and I can make a whole mess of 20-gallon lids with that. The light goes right through it. I know that Corey has a great video on it on Aquarium Co-op. Jadrin does it. He even puts the, oh man, not latex. Gosh, help me. I can't speak tonight.
The silicone along the edges to keep the moisture out. Yep.
Yeah, he silicones the corners. I've had it on my lids on my guppy tanks for over a year now, and I don't have any algae growth inside. I do see water build up in there, but when I change the water and stuff, I just drain it out, and I don't know. I don't have anything growing in there. If I start having growth, maybe I'll start sealing it up. But right now, I just keep it easy. And I should have brought some Gorilla Tape. I guess I'll show that when I cut these things. But I use Gorilla. Their products are amazing. And I use the Gorilla Clear plastic. It is super strong, holds like crazy. James is going to come down, and I'm going to make a whole bunch for him.
I was sad. I just spent like $140 on glass tops, and that's a discounted price because they were clearanced out. But I was like, I really need some tops right now, and this whole thing that's going on, we'll just say that, with the distancing has really sucked because I wanted to get those tops done by now. But I still need to get with you and have some fun and make some tops at some point.
I'm also warning you guys, we have like a huge storm coming in, and if my power goes out, James will still be here, and then the storm's also heading to his house, so if his power goes out, it may just be me. So maybe we should have brought Bob up, because there could be a good chance of one of the three of us would lose power. But so that's my lid. I didn't bring any of the lights up, but I'm going to start off with Aquanites on top, but I have got a really cool project that I've been wanting to do. I got, like, I'm not for sure if they're called a yoke, but the wood part that goes between two horses when you ride on a wagon type thing, and it's got the big metal rings at the ends, and I plan on hanging 2 spotlights down, and I'm going to put it right over this tank. So that's going to be my final goal for this tank, is to do something like that. But so I've got my lid, I've got my dip. I'm going to build a stand on Saturday. My brother-in-law is a incredible everything handyman. He's a plant engineer, and he's a master electrician, plumber. Before he did that, he used to build houses. Actually, he didn't build houses. He bought condemned houses and rebuilt them. And he's been doing that since high school. So, I mean, I've been blessed with such a good brother-in-law. My sister did really well with that guy. And I've really been lucky. So I'm going to have him throw together a stand for me made out of some of the 2x4s that I've left over from my build. Because that's one thing, is he always buys a lot of extra. And so instead of taking that stuff back, I'm going to reuse it. I prefer to do that than take stuff back. I hate taking things back. But so we've got the stand. I've got check. I should be writing this down. But the next thing is I'm going to go with sand, because, again, I'm going to reference Bob. His puffer was so cute. He's on that sand bed that looks amazing. Now, Bob probably might have like the saltwater sand. It's really pretty. I'm just going to use generic sand. I've got a 50-pound bag in the back, but it looked like a beach to me, and I think that'll be super pretty. And then I bought, well, actually, I want to throw out. I've got a local fish store that's in Hickson, Tennessee. It's named Aquatic Aesthetic. Gosh, I'm terrible with words. Aesthetics. Aesthetics. I wish he would have made an easier name for a fish store. But his name's Rob. Super nice guy. If you guys live anywhere around, he's in Hickson off of 153. He doesn't have his phone number on here. So if you just are in the Chattanooga area, look up his stores. And he's the only guy in Hickson. But he's awesome. So today he helped me out with a bunch of wood that he just got down by the river. So I'm going to treat this stuff too. But I'm going to show you this piece first. Oh, man.
I like that.
Yeah, my plan is to cut it flat across the base.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, James? Can you make it so it's just one big screen?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get out of your way.
Can see it better that way. Oh, probably not. Well, so I'm going to cut it straight across. So it's like kind of a tree coming up. And then I'm going to cut this one flat. And so I want to give the puffer a place to hide between the tree and make it look like something natural. Now I'm going to be boiling both of these pieces because, like I say, he leaves them outside in his truck, and it's been raining so much they're pretty saturated already. But I'm going to soak them good, or not soak them, but boil them, cut them, and then where you cut them, I'm going to put silicone all across the bottom to seal in the fresh cut, because I don't know if nasties or anything could be on the inside, or it would rot or something because it'd be fresher. But I'm going to seal the whole thing, and then I'm going to attach it to this piece of slate, or I don't know if it's slate, flat rock, with the silicone, and then drop that in the tank. So that way I'll be making a nice, pretty looking branch coming out. And then I also gave me some of this stuff super, super cheap. I'm going to kind of put this on the side, right like that. So he has like another little area. And I want to make it so I can see him. And then here's another neat branch. It's not pine wood because it's like rotted from the inside. So hopefully it lasts a while. And this again, I'm going to cut the points, and then I'm going to plant it so it looks just like a tree that's been in the water for a while. So James, you can go back to the big screen, or not the big screen, the split screen. If James is still here, doesn't matter. No, it does matter. I'm sorry, James. Maybe James lost power. But I bought 2 Anubias, and I have a bunch of it already in my farm tank. And these guys, this is one plant that I don't kill. And I really like it. I've been able to do quite a bit with it. And then again, I'm going to make a video on how I put this all together, but I like the gel super glue. I think it's like $1 or $2 at the Dollar General. You can get it at any dollar store. And basically, I was going to put a couple of these Anubias, and I've got a couple more along the backs of the tree and try to grow it out. And we're going to see how that looks. And let me do that. So, James, you still there, buddy? Don't know. You know what, Nate? I'm just going to keep talking about my stuff.
Yeah, I'm here. I was taking an off-air smoke break.
Oh, okay.
So we do have a question. Okay, you said, I got you. You were, yep.
Well, if you do questions that don't apply to what I'm thinking about, because I'm going to
answer them in the chat if you're good with that.
Yeah, you answer questions, and I'll just stop talking for a minute, and then so I don't forget my next step.
Or you can go on and I can answer it in the chat. That way, you have plenty of time to do what you're doing, and the questions get answered.
Okay. Now, if anybody has a question about what I'm talking about or throws an idea out for me, definitely let me know. Okay, James?
Absolutely.
Now, the Dragon Puffer, we don't know much about the Dragon Puffer. So I'm definitely not going to try to sound like a professional or anything here. But we're not for sure if they have a beak or if they just have sharp teeth. I've read that they do on both. I've read things with both. So I do plan on also, I've got some granite. I was going to bring it up here and put it in the tank that's real pretty. Or maybe it's basalt. I think it's basalt. And sometimes puffers will grind their own teeth on rock. If I have to feed him shelled stuff, that's not a problem at all either. I'll do that. I've got lots of snails. And I mean, they said that they eat snails regardless, so I'll be throwing snails in there. And if he doesn't, totally cool. So there will be rocks in the tank also with the sand and the trees and the Anubias. I do floating plants in a lot of my tanks because I always do live bears, but I don't think I'm going to do any of that. In Bob's, he's got some amazing moss growing in his that I love, but if I ended up with that moss, I'd probably end up putting it in a guppy tank. But I also, when I was picking this wood, I wanted to make sure I got wood that didn't have sharp points because they've got big old, almost chihuahua eyes on the sides of their heads, even though it's kind of like a chameleon also because they look different directions. But, you just don't want them to poke an eye. So that's why I went with all this soft type tree stuff. And unfortunately, I don't have my fish room heated yet. Hopefully in another week or two I will, but I got to make sure that he's warm until then. So I did buy a Flugel 45-gallon. So
now, is that one of the titanium ones?
It's 150. Yeah, it's 150 watt.
Nice.
So
very nice.
Hopefully I won't have to be buying too many more heaters because I'm going to be taking a lot out of my tanks actually here soon. So I remembered the heater. Oh, I should have brought a thermometer up because that's another thing. I've got some awesome thermometers. Filters. I'm going to use one sponge filter, one that's bigger than this one. This is a Aquarium Co-op medium size. I've also got the large old size. So I'm going to put one of the large ones that I've had from a past tank to try to instant cycle it and get it going up a lot quicker. So there will be a big old sponge filter in there. But I also won this on Sean Peck's stream, which was pretty awesome. And so I'm going to give Sean a shout out too. But it's the Penguin Pro 375 hang off the back. It's empty right now. So that's going to go on there. And I'll bring it up. I've never had one like this because the motor actually goes into the water. John from KG Tropicals has some great reviews on a lot of these hang off the backs. I don't know if he has one on the really big ones or if they were the mid-size ones, but pretty much the same thing, just a double size. So that's going to go on the back. This is the intake tube. It comes with that thing. And this is where I'm loyal to Corey. I'm not going to use this. I'm using one of his intake filters. I love these things. I have these on all my big tanks.
Yep.
I mean, all that extra bacteria that gets to grow in there. That's just a whole extra sponge filter. I mean, basically, if it's bigger than his sponge filter.
Yeah, it's got more surface area for beneficial bacteria.
Yeah, so I'm just going to
Priscilla asked if we like the Marineland filters. I love them. I've been using them for years. I've got 2 that are running right now that are the old style, and I love them. They just keep going and going.
Did you see that the new style has this that comes down, so it can also be a skimmer at the top?
That's cool. I like that.
I don't know if you guys can see that. There, you can see some of the light going through it. Or if you don't want a skimmer, you just pop it up.
Nice.
It's a pretty cool little feature. So, yeah, totally happy with that whole thing. I mean, how can I complain? I won that. So, on a stupid thing I said. So, I got the filtration. I went over the lights. I'll do the water. Their water looks like I can just keep them at about 77 degrees. Fine. Their pH has a wide range, so I'm just going to keep my normal tap, which is about 7.2 to 7.3, so I've got no problem there. I do have some of the AGI instant, stuff, instant cure for your tank. I got it in like a 2-pack because I was buying the stuff to cure, cure tap water or pure, get rid of the tap, and it came with that. And so I just throw a little bit of that in there. I know some people may be totally against that. I wish I had the Fritz, refrigerated bio stuff. And if you live in an area where you have pet stores that are big enough to carry that stuff, you're a lucky person, because our pet stores are just a little too small right now. Here now, there's at least one big one in Knoxville, but maybe 2 that might have it. And I know that Kenny at the Marine Aquatics would probably order it too if you wanted it. That guy's awesome in Knoxville.
Real quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody for showing up and supporting this guy. You've got 73 likes right now and 81 people watching. So congratulations for your first live stream, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, I could say thank you to every single person because I know every single person here. You guys are all so awesome. I'm not going to do it just because I would say thank you the whole time, and I don't want to choke up. So I better not even look at it. Really appreciate it, guys. Okay, so I've got jumbo bloodworms in my basement. I've got a lot of those. I'm going to try to feed them, and hopefully that works. I do have calls in my basement that I would rather not feed him calls because I don't want to, get him hooked on live. Because, if you're offered steak, you may turn down the hot dogs, and I'd rather keep them on the hot dogs because I keep all my calls normally unless, I just keep them all. I put them in what I call the pool tank, and that's something else that you'll be able to see me do. I'm going to be vlogging my my tubs. So I'm going to have a pond tank, tank, kind of my pond guppies. That's what I should say. In one tank, and then I'm going to do my blue Moscows in the other tank because I've bought some big boys. I've got some beautiful little guys. I mean, they're gorgeous. They'd be like perfect for the IFGA, except they're midgets. And like Jason from Redfish Bluefish, he would love them because they're little bitty, perfect blue Moscows. But I wouldn't win anything because they're little. So I bought some big, cool boys, and I'm hoping to add their genetics. And I'm going to put them in the pond and let them go crazy. And hopefully, at the end of the year, I got a nice mix-up of some big blue Moscows. But I don't know, guys.
You've got a comment up there from Aquatic Aesthetics. It says, Ed, tell me what you need. I have a Fritz fridge at the store.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he is so cool. Let's Rob. Everybody go check him out if you live around. And he's also going to start doing videos too, I think. He's done some pretty cool other videos that I've really enjoyed that he showed me. But I don't know if he wants me to talk about that or not, so I'm not going to. But, yeah, he's a super cool guy. He's told me that I can come into his shop whenever I want and videotape anything. So like Lisa, she has her sorority tank from KG Tropics. He has a crazy sorority tank of huge female betas or betas. Didn't mean to offend anyone. It's worth just going to check those guys out. So, James, when you come down to visit sometime, I'm going to take you over to his shop.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the lifting of everything and the passing so that we can go do some more fun stuff like we had started to do, with like the community fish tuber meetup and things. So that'll be great.
Yep. And still, guys, all my Tennessee guys, I'm going to still do the bowling shirts. I'm not for sure when we're going to get together again, but the Tennessee Aquarium's still shut down even, so it's a drag. I'm a member to the Tennessee Aquarium, and like they send me a thing today saying, big announcement, we've got this reptile guy, and I was like all excited that they were going to open up, and now it's going to be a live stream. It's like, sorry, I digress. I love my Tennessee Aquarium. I lived in St. Louis, and the closest aquarium for me for years was the Shed. So, like once a year, I try to always make sure I'd get to Chicago and see the Shed at least once. But if I could go 2 or 3 times, I would, because I love aquariums. And St. Louis just built an aquarium, and I've got so many friends there that keep telling me they want to check it out. I need to do that. Am I missing anything with? I talked about the food, the heat, the water, the rocks. I've got some other stuff that I got at the pet store today, but I'm going to bring that up in our following stream during our nocturnal stream, because that's all going to be stuff for guppies, or not for guppies, for shrimp. And that's a whole nother topic that I want to bring up for next hour. But James, can you think of anything else that I didn't say? Or does anybody have any suggestions for the puffer?
Don Cervantes says, any digital controls in there?
Digital. Okay, I am the least tech savvy guy in the world, so I may need to be told what digital is. All my lights are going to be set up. I'll do a complete walk around my fish room, and I've got the big light strips, or power strips, the real long ones. But all my lights are going to be basically on 2 timers in the place. So all my lights will come on exactly at the same time every day and turn off at the same time every day, just to make things a lot easier. I don't know. Digital, I don't know if you mean.
Yeah, he said for the lighting. So yeah, you nailed it.
Okay. And then something that, who was it that brought it? In Dan's Fish last night, he was talking about how he keeps those push lights in his fish room to make it look like a moon throughout the night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do some creative lighting, just because this is going to be the room that I do my model making and stare at my fish. So I've already got these lights that you can shoot up on the ceiling and make it look like it's the ocean, moving around. But I'm going to try to buy a moon. I'm going to try to get a moonlight for that room, just because I think that'd be pretty cool. And maybe I'll have to figure out a timer for that to always go on when the other lights go off. What? I don't know. I'm kind of talking about my fish room, but I guess that's all right. Yeah. Lisa and John were talking. Somebody asked, what are important things about the fish room? And I mean, that's exactly what I've been doing lately. And they were so right about the flooring with water. I got the rubber artificial wood, not paneling, tiles. So water can soak it, and it's made of rubber. It's like what you see at restaurants a lot of times, because they don't want, everything spills on their floors. So I've got a really pretty flooring. You can get nice flooring that's waterproof at a good price. And another big thing, I think, is the element of getting the humidity out.
Yes, definitely.
And so I have put in a fan to suck it out, and I tried to get an industrial bathroom type one that would do, big bathrooms. but it's still not quite enough, I think. So I'm going to take it back and try to get the $300 one that does a little bit more. So that's one thing that I'll be doing on Saturday is getting a bigger upgrade on my fan, and I have to buy a door for my fish room also. And then basically I've got everything else. I've got my power already hooked up. I'm doing it paneling. So basically my room's about 14 by 16 or 14 by 18 size room, but I've got another 14 by 14 room right next to it that I'm building, but I've used a breakaway wall. So if I ever end up getting so into guppies where I'm awesome a gray, I can break that wall down and then put more stuff in there. But right now it's just going to be storage. So I'm going to have a dehumidifier, and I'm going to have the fan to suck that humidity out.
Have you ever tried this stuff? Rust-Oleum Never Wet. You can get, it's a 2-step process, and you can get both cans for $1. I forget the coverage area, but it's fairly decent. But basically it puts a waterproof seal over whatever you spray it on. So I like to use it on my fish stands since I make a lot of them out of wood. It's great for spraying the walls or paneling where you're going to have tanks near the wall to help, again, with preventing mildew and things like that. And $1 for 2 cans for, I think, like 25 square foot of coverage or something like that isn't bad.
I use this, I spray this on a lot of stuff because it's basically just like spraying plastic.
Yeah.
But
I love that stuff.
This might be more expensive though too. I don't know.
It is. Well, what you've got is great for the tank backs, and it also works for the stands, especially with it being peelable after you spray it on there. I mean, I've used that on everything up to and including cars for trim and wheels and stuff like that. It's great stuff. The Never Wet works well, like I said, for walls behind it. If you maybe don't want to spray it with Plasti Dip, it puts a clear coat on it, and so it doesn't get wet. And it's $1 for, setup.
Well, it's too late for half my walls, but I still might do it on the other side. That's a great tip, man.
Honestly, I forgot about it, and I didn't even remember I had the can down there until I looked, and I was like, oh, hey, I've got the stuff sitting here that I've been looking for.
Well, I use a lot of Fusion, Krylon Fusion for tanks. Anything that you put in your tank that you don't like the color, like you can get PVC pipe and just cut it for tubes and caves for your tanks, and you don't like that color, you can always get the Krylon Fusion and spray it. And that's basically like a plastic coating also that's safe for your tank. So just throwing that out there. One of the things I'm going to do a video where, I don't know, this is like down the line, but I want to try to make molds. And I know a lot of people don't like putting things in your tank, other than plants and wood and stuff. But I went to Chichen Itza about 20 years ago, and I got a bunch of these little idols, and they're made out of plaster, but the people make them, and they've been broke up and they're chipped and stuff. But I'm gonna glue them, make a mold of each one, and try to make a plastic little idol. And it's crazy. I've got like 6 of them. I went to the Yucatan, and like our person that was driving the bus said, they don't really like money. They prefer to trade. And they love baseball hats and jewelry and watches and things like that. And it was like, I was wearing my Chiefs hat, and I was going to be deep sea fishing for the rest of the week. So I wasn't going to give up my hat. And so, which was stupid because I could have bought a new hat. But I had a super cheapy watch. It was like $5 at Walmart, but I wanted to be able to get it in the ocean and take it out, and I wanted to make sure I could see at night. So I go there, and they keep wanting to trade. They didn't want my money for one of these idols. And what I really wanted was one of these cool Mayan calendar plates. But they kept saying, your watch for this plate. And I kept saying, no, this is a cheap watch. You don't want the watch. Let me give you $20. And so then they picked up an idol, and they said, the idol and the plate for the I was like, no, it's not fair. You don't want this. They ended up giving like 5 models or 5 idols and the plane. I said, here's the watch. I felt so bad walking back to the bus with this giant bag of stuff. But oh well, the guy was happy he got my watch, I guess. So
there you go.
But they look really cool. But you know, I couldn't put them in a fish tank because they would just dissolve. But Sean Peck has done ones with his hands, and he did one with a mask that he did that's called the mermaid face. I think he also did like a zombie face. So I want to do the same thing with those Chichen Itzas. I think they'd be neat. And sorry I went so long on that. Hopefully, I don't know if that even answered a question. I just rambled.
Well, I've got to say you're doing a wonderful job, Ed, and I am enjoying being in the co-host seat and keeping my mouth shut. I'm loving it.
You know what? I love being the co-host because basically I feel like I'm the co-captain on an airplane, and if the captain starts to nod off or forget what he's doing, I'm there to save all the people in the airplane, you know? And I love listening to radio teams. I always have. And I always love the guys that are like 2 guys that can talk perfect, but you have one guy always talking, another guy that chips in and is, that can help and stuff. And that's what I've got with James, and I just love that. And I've got that with Chris and with Nathan. I appreciate all you guys letting me be your co-host. But I mean, James is like to have you. James is like my I don't know, we're like the DJ team or something.
I made a joke with Ed before the stream. I said, buddy, you're part of the Fish Room Fever brand at this point.
Yeah, and at that point, I thought about putting the Fish Room Fever hat on, and I was like, I don't want to take that.
No, this is straight up you. I don't think that we could ever separate ourselves from one another in terms of the YouTube and not upset a bunch of people.
But yep, But yeah, seriously, I don't know if anybody has done more airtime and not done their own show. And You guys are terribly nervous tonight, and I don't know why, because it's basically the normal thing. There's so many different things that I thought about I could talk about for an hour, and that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about this puffer, because maybe you guys would have some great ideas, or just enjoy talking to each other and let me ramble. It's cool too. So, but also, if you guys want to learn a lot more about those puffers, Bob Kaler is going to do a lot of videos on his. So, pretty cool. We can learn a lot from him. And a guy that James and I got to meet that's super cool, Scott from Alien Aquatics. He has one, and he sent me his video as soon as it came in, like a 5-second thing. Sent me on the phone. And it was so cool watching that little guy moving around. So I'm sure he's going to do a lot of videos on him too. You remember, has he talked about what its name is? It should be something really goofy. Like something, well, I shouldn't say goofy, but alien-y. Or like, I don't know.
So Tampa Tom asks, is there a specific type of snail that puffers prefer to eat over others? Chattanooga Ed.
Okay, that is a great question. And I'm going to tell you about all of my experience with puffers that I've had so far in my life. Because I've owned 2. I owned them at the same time, and I brought them home, and they lasted about an hour before they got gulped up. So I would have to say ram horn snails, because I'm smart, and I looked at what Priscilla said. Well, luckily, I do have ram horns. I also have rabbit, but I don't think I'll be giving any of my rabbit snails because they're so cute. I have a lot of pest snails and things like that I'll be able to throw in there.
So Chris Multi-Tank Addiction asked, how will you be doing your water changes in the fish room, Ed?
Okay, that's a great one.
I told him with new water.
What?
I said I told him with new water.
Oh, yeah. Well, unless it's for the shrimp, but
yeah.
I won't go there.
Yeah.
one of my problems is my fish room. It's right next to my kitchen. Unfortunately, my Python doesn't hook to my stupid kitchen sink thing. The kid that takes care of my fish when he's out of town, or when I'm out of town, is also a plumber. So he kept telling me he was going to put a new one on sometime when he like took the faucet off of somebody's. He was just going to bring me one, or he was going to get a key that could replace it. Unfortunately, he joined the Navy and he moved away. So my Python has to go all the way to my bathroom, which is just a little too far from where my fish room is. So I've been doing for a while now. I use like one of these big industrial trash cans that holds maybe 50 to 40 gallons. It's on wheels, like 6 wheels. And I have a pump and I suck the water into it or out of it and into my tanks. And then I put it off. I also suck it into another trash can and wheel it out to my garden. So I've got like flowers out here, or roses out. I'm pointing, it's dark. But I've got plants out there that get all the wonderful water. And the pump is great for pumping onto all the plants. So I know it's not as easy as draining it right into a toilet, but at least I'm reusing my water. And really, it's really easy to roll it right out because I've got French doors in the basement and it just goes right out the back door.
There are several people that are mentioning extensions for Python through the 100-foot Python. The other thing you can do is buy a really cheap $1 repair piece pretty much for a garden hose and splice garden hose into it, which is actually what I've done because one of my fittings, which the members saw in the members video on a water change that I was doing, the stupid Python hook wouldn't fit my hose because it's a generic Python, but it fits the threading on a garden hose. So I just spliced in the end of a garden hose so I could hook my Python hook on there that I use for my water changes. So
yeah, I appreciate that, but I really like my system.
Oh, I know. I just figured I'd mention it for people because $100 Python is expensive versus a lot
I
of
can
other
fill my
options.
trash can up, and 3 days later, put it in my fish room. 3 days later, it's the exact same temperature as my fish tanks because it's all going to be like 76 degrees in my fish room. I'm just going to keep it central heat always in there. So my water will just be going straight in. I won't have to worry about jumps. I've got a crazy system in this house. I've got 2 hot water tanks, and so sometimes when one goes out, it gets cold and it's super hot. So normally I never drain enough to fill or empty one of the heaters, but it's still something that can happen. I don't know. It's just easy. I like what I do. It's better than what I used to do, which was 5-gallon buckets. I used to caveman it all.
Absolutely. And there you go. Aquatic Aesthetics says buy a waterbed fill valve from Walmart for $5.99. Exact same thing, and runs with your garden hose. Yep. Gotta love the plumbing workarounds. So Ed, I think I'm going to jump off of here while you say your goodbye so I can get the next stream set up.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
So thank you, everybody. I'm going to jump out of here, and I'll see you in a minute on the other stream.
Sounds good, man. And I'll be there in a minute. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Hopefully I didn't go crazy with the super fast talk. I don't know why I was nervous. I do this all the time, but normally I'm not the main guy. So I appreciate y'all coming in. I mean, seriously, I'd love to just say everybody's name, but because I love you guys all. This is why I do it, is so that way I can meet all you guys and have friends in the fish fam. I mean, everybody brings so much to the table. I could just like click on any single person and say, what their specialty is, or, they're cool and awesome and stuff. And I don't know. I'll never say that I'm a master of anything. I just like to have fun, and I know a lot of little bits. So I can give my few little bits and also talk and get the little bits that I don't know from you guys and then share it. and that's what makes it fun. So thank you so much. Thank you all my mods. I don't know if you guys had to do any work or not, but I really appreciate it. I really didn't read any of the stream, so afterwards I will do all of that and see what you guys said. Thank you so much. And I don't know how to turn this off. So if y'all want to go over to the nocturnal feeding, that'd be awesome. And I guess maybe if I just click off.